Hey everyone, this is Momentary Flux. Welcome back to Factorio, the Minimalist Factory with Bob's Mods. I had a technical difficulty where somehow my microphone level got turned down to practically nothing. So I have to do a voiceover for this episode before I can get back to regular narrating as I play. So what I was doing here was looking at this assembler, which is needed to make the yellow inserters, which green science is going to need. So my plan was to make some of the basic electronics boards by hand, so that I could get some of those level 2 assemblers, and I could get some filter inserters for the wood production. So here I've put down a metal mixing furnace, and I need to combine tin and lead to make solder plates. So I'm adding here. I have to go and collect some resources, also extend those the small bus I have going. I need to extend it as well. Putting in a box there for collection of lead, and I think I need to put one in here also, yeah, for tin. Add a little power. Gather up some some lead, some tin. Fill her up. Okay, so here what I'm going to do is I'm going to make I'm going to make two things. Some basic electronic components and some solder, which is what are needed for the basic electronic boards. So I'm pocket crafting some copper wire, which is needed for tinned wire. So the tinned wire is carbon, or excuse me, the electronics components are carbon and tinned wire. Okay, those are going. Getting some more resources. Making some more copper wire. Decide to make some armor while I'm at it. Check the map. I see there are some biters now on the map that the radar has uncovered. So I have to start keeping an eye on my pollution cloud. Okay, what am I doing here? Okay, I am making now some electronic components. The first ones I've made. This will allow me to make those circuit boards and get those level 2 assemblers and those filter inserters. So you can make 5 at a time, so they make them pretty quickly. And I'm just keeping the machines going here. Popping things in, pulling out the finished products. It's interesting doing the voiceover instead of doing it as you play, because I'm not exactly remembering what I was thinking at the time. So I'm just trying to shed light on what's going on. I remember the major things, obviously, but I'm not sure about the details necessarily. Okay. So I've made my first basic electronic boards, which means now, hey, look at that. I can make assemblers, level 2 assemblers. And once I get a level 2 assembler, I can make green science. Which I feel like I'm about to do here. Yeah, here we go. Just waiting for the assemblers to be made. I think here I was looking at the brown circuit boards over there, that are a component for making the inserters for green science, and I was wondering aloud if I should bring them over, or if I should just carry them back and forth for a while until I get robots. You can see right now I have about 500 basic circuit cards in my inventory, which means I'll be able to make about 500 green science. It goes pretty quick, you know, but that's, you know, somewhere between 5 and 8 technologies probably that I can, that amount of circuit cards will let me research. So I don't need to constantly be going back and forth. I can just dump 1,000 at a time over there, and it's really not that big a deal. I think my point I was making is that I don't necessarily plan to have my science and my electronics components being built next to each other down the road. So there's not necessarily any point in doing it now. If the amount of work I have to do to fill up that box is minimal, I can just do it in passing. Okay. Next. Yeah, I think right there I was saying I have 500-ish. And green science has the green lights from the bottleneck mod, which adds those. And we got green science going. So it looks like my research is crafting speed right now, but I'm going to definitely want to start in on a few critical key red and green science technologies. Okay, so here I realized that I can now make a couple of filter inserters to fix my wood production. The wood production is locked up, completely not working because there's nowhere for the greenhouses. Oh, let's pause on that thought for a moment. Here I'm just trying to figure out what technology to choose, and ultimately I settle on electric energy distribution 1, so that I can get the power poles that have a wider power distribution area, and also the long power poles, so I can connect my power plants and various areas of my factory without having to spam those tiny power poles. I can cover the bigger distances. I consider pump jacks, which is a very quick one, and will lead towards oil production, but I decided to go with energy. Okay, so I got my filter inserters. I'll make a couple of more, keep them going. I think right here I'm just talking about how there's nowhere for the seedlings to go. So what I'm planning to do is I'm planning to have the seedlings on the inside of the belt, the wood on the outside of the belt, and then having a filter inserter pull those seedlings that come out to the outside of the belt and put them back on the inside of the belt, and then take the wood and ship it off down to that to our little electronics bus. Okay. So what I do here is I need one filter inserter for the seedlings. I need 2 boxes just to round the corner and get them back on the belt. I start to use the yellow inserters, but then I realize I can make some fast inserters, which are kind of necessary here because there is a really large quantity. And this whole system itself it needs a little bit of speed. So I'd make a couple of blue ones. Power it up. Add seedlings as my filter. And pretty soon here you'll see that the greenhouses are going to start working again as well. Here I made a small mistake where I put seedlings in this filter too. Just because I was talking and not thinking. But now, you know, now I'm doing voiceover instead. I can explain why I made that mistake. So I'm like, immediately I'm like, oh hey, those aren't supposed to be seedlings, those are supposed to be wood. Dump off that excess, get the wood going. Then I was wondering if I should make two so that I fill both sides of the belt, or put a balancer on the belt. But I think for now, one side for wood is good. We only have one thing so far using wood anyway, which is those brown basic electronic boards. Okay. I upgrade the assembler here so that it's faster. I upgrade the inserters so that it can keep up. And it looks like our greenhouses are once again springing to life, and wood is being pulled off of the circuit, of the loop. I run down the line to see that circuit production has indeed once again resumed. I got there just as the first circuits were being added. Now, because of electric energy distribution being researched, I'm going to be able to... Oh, let me hold that thought. And I'm looking at power here, and I see that power is really kind of... It's getting to the point where I'm going to need to add more power. But I'm not ready for solar power yet. So what I'm thinking is that I'll research the Mark II steam engines and the Mark II boilers and just upgrade my power in place without adding any more. That's one of the beauties of Bob's Mods, is that it takes things above and beyond what you get in the standard game. Okay, so what I was saying about the energy distribution is that I have this sort of janky little setup here where I've got the circuit cards coming out on single belts and then converging. I'll be able to fix that. I'm not sure. Oh, here I'm trying to figure out in which order I want to build both solder and electronic components, which looks like a resistor. And I decide to go with solder first. I leave a couple of spaces. I just put it like just put a belt there to just kind of give me an idea where I need to build. This is going to be my assembler for resin. Trying to think of what was I doing here? Oh, I was looking for resin, that's it. Okay. I realized my belt's backwards. Fix that. And think, well, maybe I should bring up the other resources and I could have wood coming in below, since it's just going to be one assembler for resin. Okay, get my metal mixing furnaces. Get interrupted by technology. I decide, because I had talked about it before, to go with steam engine generators upgrade. I have my two metal mixing furnaces, which are going to make solder plates, and I'm going to pipe up the resources from below. Ooh. Some terrible manual dexterity. I spam I spam belts everywhere in an effort to make a straight line. Okay. Trying to read my own thoughts here. What was I thinking? I think this is where I'm deciding that I want to bring up tin and lead on this side, and I will in fact use the lower portion for wood. Okay. Yeah. So there's a lot of talking there that didn't get picked up. I set those to solder plates. I'm going to combine my tin and lead there. And I'm bringing the bus over. With carbon, the bus that's carrying carbon and tin. So right about here, I need some splitters. I'm probably going to be queuing those up any second here. Yep, there we go. I need some splitters. I probably don't need more underground belts, but I made some anyway. I'm looking for splitters in my inventory. And I start to go to split for the tin, which is going to be offset by 1. And then I come to the realization that I have not left 2 spaces between my 2 bus lines, which means I can't turn the corner with my belt and then underground it past the other part of the bus. So I get interrupted by science, and I look for the boilers here because they are not in the same stream of technology as the steam engines. They're actually in the materials processing line. So I choose materials processing, which will get me steel furnaces if I want them. I'm probably just going to make the jump directly to electric, assuming I can get some more power. And here I'm just picking up the tin line, and I'm going to move carbon and tin down 1 so that I have room for those underground belts. A small mistake, no big deal. It only takes a moment to fix. Okay, so then I extend over carbon line. And I scoop up all the excess carbon, a little extra tin. Okay, so now the lines have what they're supposed to have on them. I now have room to make a right turn, so I'm going to line up that splitter again. I'm going to offset it by 1 because I want to combine 2 lines, the tin and the lead. Okay. And there's my combining line that's lined up good. And here I'm going to split off the lead. I turn it in 1 too soon. I need to actually extend it up 1 more so that it just fills the 1/2 of the belt. Continue things on. Okay, then I just got to clean that off, underground it past those 2 belts, and now I have the tin and lead that I need to make solder plates. I think here I'm looking at the yellow inserters, thinking I'd really like to use blues from here on out. Just, you know, so I don't have to think about it too much. But I don't have enough electronic circuits yet to justify doing it. I'll come back and I'll probably replace everything as soon as I get those circuits up and running. Okay, so I put a splitter on the wood line, and I'm just gonna send it up there. And here I'm trying to figure out which side I'm going to output things to, because up here I need to put some assemblers for the actual solder itself, which is what I'm doing now. I have the assemblers made. I can barely hear. I can hear myself in the background talking. The mic levels were so low that if I talked loud enough, you'd still be able to hear me, but you can't really make out what I'm saying. Maybe if somebody jacks the volume up to maximum. Okay. So I'm gonna need an output line for the solder, and once again I get interrupted by technology. Okay, I choose boilers so that I can make that upgrade. I don't want to output the solder on the right side because I'm kind of trapped by my other belts. So I want to output things on the left, so I come up with a plan for that. And I put that into motion where I bring the resin in a little bit and then send it up to those assemblers. I'm waiting for it to happen here. Okay. And I decided I'm going to output the solder plates off to the right instead of off to the left. That'll give me room to bring my output, the solder itself, down from the right, or excuse me, down from the left. All right. That's where I'm gonna put a box that will be my collection point for solder until I figure out what's needed to bus it over to the next bit. I may have to go back and look at my other playthrough. I might just go vertical and if I build electronic components just to the left of this, I can maybe send them up and build circuits above it, because these things that the solder, you know, they don't get consumed very fast. The electronic components do, but not the solder. It's a pretty low consumption item. Okay, what am I thinking here? Maybe I'm just contemplating where I need to put my inserters to get things onto the proper belts. Okay, we got inputs for we need outputs. So I switched to long-handed inserters, once again interrupted by technology. I choose, I believe, pump jacks. Yeah, pump jacks will get more on the way to oil production. Okay, so I've got my long-handed outputs there. I've got long-handed outputs coming in over here for the solder. Get some inputs. Checking what I need. I realize now, hey, I've got better power poles, so I'm going to retire the small power poles and start making medium power poles and medium or long distance power poles. And, oh yeah, here I'm talking about how I can fix that janky setup over there where I have things coming out on a single belt and converging. I'll do that. I'll be doing that next episode. Okay, I got things powered up. I'm looking to see if it's working. I have a moment there where I'm thinking maybe I put iron on the line instead of tin since they look so similar. I made that mistake with the ore early on as well, but I didn't. It's okay. I noticed the green lights come on the metal mixing furnaces. Once again, interrupted by technology. I choose to continue on with Mark II pump jacks, or at least the first upgrade. I'm not sure if they're called Mark II at this point. I see that I need solder plate input. Add some inserters, power that up. Decide on the fast inserter since it requires 4 per solder, 4 plates per solder. Checking the requirements for the electronic boards, and I believe that I'm looking at the time, and I'm realizing that I've gone quite long. I'm trying to keep the episodes somewhere between 20 and 30 minutes, and at this point I think I'm about 26 minutes. I decide to wrap it up and say thanks everybody.